Hey guys, welcome back to the All Star Boxing Podcast. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all of that jazz. The sponsor for this episode is Obsidian Bro, so I want to link their Instagram and Facebook below in the description, and I want to thank them too. On tonight's episode, we had the Mr. Damaged Liam Wilson. It was actually a really cool episode because we touched on his last fight with Youssef Dib for No Limit, but we also, more importantly, touched on our whole boxing career. So we've lived the whole boxing journey together. We really are boxing brothers. So this was a bit of a special episode for me. I'm sorry for being absent for a bit, but I had to come back with a bang of an episode. So enjoy this one, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Okay, cool. Look, Liam, everyone's been looking forward to this episode. So massive congratulations for the whole fight against Youssef Dib, No Limit there. So today, 3 weeks today's Wednesday, 3 weeks ago was the fight. So what have you been doing in the 3 weeks?
Man, I actually had influenza A for the first week,
Crazy.
so I was sick as hell. I'm sort of hitting it on the head now and recovering from it. But it's enjoying time with the family, back into training, getting fit, and trying to stay in the gym. You know,
Yeah.
like in the past, I've had my fight and probably a bit too much rest time, and now I just want to make sure at the back end of my career, stay busy in the gym and be ready for those fights when they arise.
Yeah, nice. So that was a special fight because obviously it was interesting, and I never look. I'm retired in the sport, and me and Yusuf did fought July last year, and then you guys were mashed up July this year.
Yeah.
So I never thought that would even happen. And boxing is a funny game when you you try to forecast the future, but you don't know the next 10 opponents you're going to have.
Mhm.
So things can happen in a very strange way. So when I heard you were mashed up with Dib, I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is this?
Hell yeah.
But it made sense
Mhm.
on a domestic level. And I never thought, like, one whole year later, it felt like it was all resurfacing.
Yeah.
Because obviously we fought, the result was the result. And then when you guys were fighting, I never thought it would have so much of an effect on me.
Yeah.
Because I was watching all of the build up, the press. I was just staying on it, and I was actually riding the wave with you. So did you feel that was a bit of a different fight for you?
Kind of because I think ultimately because he fought a gym mate of mine, it was a fight I wanted as well at lightweight. As for a matter of fact, anybody in Australia at lightweight I would have fought. With the use of Dib fight, I felt it was a bit of a get back. Like I truly felt that. A different feel about the whole thing, the preparation. Even when I seen him, like, you know, there was no bad animosity or anything like that. But I wanted to win the fight for myself, obviously. But I also knew there was the underlying little my good friend Miles and Dib. So we had to wait until July 10 and get that under the way.
Yeah, and like, because I was riding the weight, and even after the weigh-in, I was messaging you like
Yeah.
when he missed weight, 400
Yeah.
400 grams over the limit. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I knew there was, look, boxing's a funny game. Fishy sometimes. You've experienced it overseas where people try to pull the wool over people's eyes and just try to get away with things. So when that happened, I was like, oh, what's going to happen here? And I loved when you were like, look, lose the weight.
Yeah.
Lose the weight. Like, be fair. You're fair.
Yeah.
You're a man that just plays by the rules. You're somebody that just wants even playing field.
Mhm.
And this, like, talent versus talent's hard enough.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a tough game.
Yeah. So any little advantages, you want to eliminate that.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously when he missed the weight, I was straight to the point. We are professionals. We got to lose the weight. You know,
Yep.
no bad feelings. You know, I understand in boxing that those things do happen. The scales he was using could have been out, or whatever the matter was. But you know, go lose the weight, and I'll see you on fight night.
Yeah, I was just so wired up, man, for this, and everyone in the gym at U-Box were like,
Yeah.
man, because I've no matter where I go, I always promote you, because I see you at the top. You've done amazing, you're doing amazing, and everyone that really doesn't really know boxing, I introduce them to boxing, and you're the main man of All Star, and I promote the shit out of everybody. That's why I'm doing this podcast, you know. But for some reason, that fight, everything came back to the surface. It all came back to the surface, and they were like watching me. They're like, "Oh, you good?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking good." Like, it was crazy.
Don't worry about me.
Like, I was all in it, even though it wasn't about me. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
about me, but I was. It was. I was so affected. I was so triggered by it. And even after the weigh-in, I was texting you. I was like, boom. And
Yeah,
the
what
fact that
happened?
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what's going on here? And the fact that you responded, I was like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
that's how close
Because
you
I
and
knew,
are.
I knew it was an important fight for you. Like as much as I was fighting the fight and it was in my world, I knew me facing Youssef it would have had emotion involved to it for you. So, yeah.
Cool. And I knew, like, everyone was calling me, texting me, oh, do you think Liam's got it? I was like, of course he's got it. Like, I just kind of knew, because I'd been in the ring with Dib, and we've had 1,000 spars over the years, I just knew your level.
Yeah.
And you are world level. And respectfully, like, Dib, what isn't world level? He hasn't fought world level fighters. So I was like, nah, it just makes sense. Look, you can see statistics and figures, but then in the ring, it's always a different story. But feeling both, I was like, nah, Liam's got this. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
And then everyone was calling me, and one thing that offended me, and like, I don't want to talk about sports betting.
Yeah.
Don't really want to promote this, but in one of the gyms, this guy was like, oh, you know, what do you think is gonna happen? And I said, well, Liam's gonna stop him. I feel he's gonna stop him. And he goes, oh, I'll just put it on. I'll put my money on it not going the distance, just in case,
Okay,
either
okay.
or.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, like he's not gonna.
Yeah. Pick and
Liam's gonna
choose,
win
pick and
this
choose,
fight.
yeah.
But it offended me.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, but that was just the mind of a punter.
Mhm.
That was the mind of a punter. That's who I was talking to. Whereas myself, I know you.
Yeah.
Out of anyone in this game, I know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to bring up one video, because I'm not going to bring up highlights. We've all
Yeah.
watched it. But this I really enjoyed. So we'll watch this together.
Okay.
Put this on the podcast.
Yeah.
This was the press.
Yeah.
Before the weigh-in, the day before, I'm pretty sure. George Rose speaking.
I think he's coming into this fight really confident. He has fought against one of Liam's stablemates, who Liam's obviously done a lot of rounds with him, Miles Zalewski, and it was a great fight. We saw Yui get hurt, but bounce back up from. It looked like from the death. He bounced back up and really put on a great performance to finish that fight. But I know that Liam's also had a lot of experience with Miles too. So I think that fight alone is something that probably can give you a lot of confidence going into it too, Liam.
Absolutely. You know, he had a good performance there against Miles. I know Miles very well in the gym. So for him to come away with the win, although I thought he was pretty lucky, the count was about 40 seconds long. That's longer than the Navarrete one. But look, it is what it is.
That there. So when I told you, I'm watching everything. I'm glued
Yeah.
to the phone, watching all the build-up. You know, the big press, watching it all. And I love that. I want to put this back, but just for the viewers at home, I love the fact that, because the result is the result.
Yeah.
I lost fair and square, you know. So what I love here is how you look into George's eyes when you said 40-second count.
Look, it is what it is. Come away with the win. Although I thought he was pretty lucky, the count was about 40 seconds long. That's longer than the Navarrete one.
It's like you looked into his soul.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
But you, because you're somebody that promotes fair game.
Yeah.
Fair game. But that was like you speaking to him like, dude, was it
Yeah,
a wrong count?
you know, George.
You know, mate.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I'm not here to, you know, like, this is public space.
Yeah.
But I was riding with you, and that's because we're boxing brothers, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, you're doing this fight, even though this is yours, you're doing it for us, you know. So fast forward, you've done amazing. You're here now.
Yeah.
You know, I never had a doubt, and you never doubted you ever. And the result's the result.
Yeah.
You know, so 3 weeks later, what do you feel? It's probably early days, but what do you feel is coming up? Back in the gym?
Look, just back in the gym, enjoying some time with my family. You
No
know,
rush?
no rush at all.
No rush.
No, I've got things to work on in the gym. My game plan, my boxing, all my boxing flaws, and you know, day in day out, I'm here working on all those little things. They're minor little errors, but the things I have to fix to move forward in my career. You know, I wouldn't say I'm on the back end of my career, but I somewhat am as well. So I need to make sure everything I'm doing is to a T. And I've got 18 years behind me, but I've got 18 years of bad habits as well. So I've got to fix them. And
Nice.
Benny Harrington, the trainer, he's putting a lot of hard work into me. So it's gonna be a busy next few years. And it's weird. Like at this stage of my career, I'm still learning or trying to learn. And for me, that feels pretty surreal. 18 years boxing prior to that, and here I am still really trying to knuckle down so many errors that I make. So
Still being a student of the game.
yeah, 100%. And I really do feel like that. Like I come to training and like watching back my fights in the past, and like so many errors are made, and I just think some of them are really not amateurish, but novice-y. But it got me to where I am, and it's defeats that make you realize that you got to fix them. So here I am.
And look, when we looked at your fight against Oscar Valdez, again, you had half of his experience. So your pro career has been one hard fight after another after another. You've never been shy of a challenge. That's what I've always admired about you, is that you're not a scared person.
Yeah.
Like you've had a hard life to now have these hard fights, but you've always shown up, and it shows in our spars. And I've always, when I promote you to everybody, and I say we've had 1,000 spars over the years, you're somebody who, like, almost like two faces. It's like Mr. Damage, Liam Wilson. Like
Right.
that's why your name's Mr. Damage.
Yeah, right.
Because we've had spars where the persona changes.
Yeah.
And I have to prep for that. So when, back in the day when Coach Benny's like, all right, guys, Miles, yep, you and Liam sparring 10 hours tomorrow, I'm like, man, I have to really mentally prepare myself for you.
Yeah.
It's no easy spar.
Yeah.
They've always been like hard fights. And you've been my boxing brother and someone that's sharpened my boxing, because you've been better than all my opponents, So I'm like, that's given me the best confidence in the gym and in these fights, that I'm like, nah, Liam's way better than this, boys. Like if I'm sparring Liam 2 times a week, like he's way better than this,
Yeah.
And I have to be on for you, because if I'm not on, you have it over me.
And I think that stems back from when we were younger. Before what Benny would have seen at All Stars here, back at Donny's, all the hard sparring we had back then, competitiveness, and like what they see in our sparring, it happened long before that, and like years and years of it too. So it's just not another day in the office here for us.
And look, we've got a lot of friends and fans of today that don't know us of the years back then. So that's what this podcast is about. I really want to take it all back, okay? So I've got a whole list of photos here, and we'll just chop through it all. And I want you to really kind of narrate all of these photos. So how old do you think you are here?
13.
13.
Yeah.
So I know you're from Kingaroy.
Yeah.
How did you get into boxing?
Funny enough, and I hate saying it because I don't want to sound like a tough guy.
Yeah.
But as a young kid, I truly felt like I was the best fighter in my group at school, and not like as in beating up people, but just the best fighter.
Yeah.
I guess whatever that means is as a young kid. And my best mate at the time came to school with a boxing trophy, and I was just extremely jealous. I was playing soccer at the time.
Yeah.
I was just very jealous of him being the fighter.
And he had a trophy.
Came to school, and he lost his fight, but I was just so jealous. Like my best mate at the time is a fighter, and I'm not. So I went back home that day, and I said to Dad, you have to take me down to this boxing gym. And he sure enough he did.
What did Dad say? He was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. He's kind of not a fighter himself, but he had that sort of hard mentality, and so my brothers as well. And sure enough, we went down there. Me and my brother and my sister started boxing. My brother had fights as well, Ethan.
Yep.
I think he had about 9 for Kingaroy.
Yeah, nice.
My sister just trained to keep fit, and
for those that don't know, you're a twin.
A twin, yeah.
You're a twin, and I forget about that.
Yeah.
I never see you around.
Yeah.
But I forget that you're a twin. So those that don't know, you're a twin.
A twin. Watch out for her. Yeah. So no, it was cool. It was good.
And so, how many fights did you have for Kingaroy?
I had 13 fights for Kingaroy.
Yep.
12 wins, 1 loss.
Yep.
I lost my first one and my last one for Kingaroy.
How did you feel in your first loss?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like I just sort of just a
ago.
loss. You know, I was a young kid. I got back in there. So for me, I still loved it and I enjoyed it. it would have been hard at the time, I'm sure. But I guess what I felt as a young kid before boxing, I was a fighter. It come out in an example like that. I lost a fight and I got back in there to fight again. And yeah, I won. And I went on a little winning streak actually for about probably 2 or 3 years. I lost my last fight for King Roy, and I moved to Caboolture at the age of 13. And I think I had about 3 or 4 fights with Donnie.
Yeah.
And I actually ended up facing the guy that I last lost against
Oh, yeah.
for King Roy.
Yep.
And yeah, there was a lot on it. He's a really good fighter. I remember watching him on the pads before he walked out, and I was like, oh shit. And yeah, I was happy to come away with the win, and I got up, and for a young kid, that's
Yep.
you
You
got
conquered
kind
something.
of got the get back as well, conquered something, and it's like a bit of a big achievement for a young kid.
Nice.
You know,
And it's good that that's a pinnacle memory for you.
yeah,
That was like your first like victory of like, you know what, this guy had
Yeah.
over me,
yeah.
getting it back.
And at such a young age as well,
Yeah.
is a big thing for me. And I think it wasn't losing a sport; it was losing a boxing fight. It was
Yeah,
losing a fight. That's the way I should probably say it. It wasn't like losing a soccer match. It was,
Yep.
For us males, it was losing a fight. And for me, it felt like a really big thing inside. And to get that win over him was good.
Nice,
New gym. I felt like it was a new journey for me. New gym, new trainer.
Yep.
New win.
New Liam.
New Liam. And even though I was so young, that's how I felt.
Yeah, nice.
So
Was I at Caboolture Boxing then you came over? Was I already there?
you're
I
already
can't
there.
remember. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
already there from day dot.
You're like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Who's this skinny guy?
But there it is.
Yeah.
There's Coach Donny.
So I think that fight was. I think that was the Australian titles or in Russia.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Actually, no. Sorry. It has to be Australia.
All the fights are merged. They're all blurred.
Yeah.
Like when you look at all your trophies, you probably
Oh.
you're way more than me, but it's like you can't remember where was from what.
And just years and years of fighting, obviously.
Yeah.
Memories, so many fights, and different continents in the world. It's hard to really put together.
Can you quickly list your countries you've visited boxing?
Germany twice, Serbia, Kazakhstan, Russia, Poland,
Tahiti?
New Zealand, Bulgaria.
Yep. Okay, well.
Yeah.
America as well.
Yeah, and America. And I think that's...
You didn't find England? You went
Nah,
to London?
I went to...
No,
Well,
we-
nah.
Yeah,
it
we
was-
were, but we didn't
Yeah,
go.
Pan out. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, we were
so-
supposed to go to
There you go,
London.
there you go. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I wish, like, looking back, I
what
wish I
happened there?
went.
What happened there?
Well,
I didn't go, yeah.
yeah,
There's something
yeah,
happened
just
there.
something happened, and then.
But yeah, we
we
were
didn't
supposed
go.
to go to London together, our first trip.
Yeah. That would've been
And
cool, man.
it fell through at the last minute, I'm pretty sure. Right?
Yeah. But look, that's what Caboolture Gym looks like. So old gym, and that ring's
I
new.
still got the same size.
we had the hardwood.
Yeah. It was
flooring.
an old school feel.
You know?
Yeah.
And
And before that was just like a wooden
Yeah,
planks on the
that
ground.
was a wooden floor.
Yeah.
Now that was my first boxing gym. So
Yeah.
my story is obviously saw boxing. I thought I could do that, and then Caboolture was my first gym. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been exposed to. So I thought that was just boxing. Oh man, I had hidings. Luke Howlett used to beat me up. Everyone beat me up, but I'd still come back the next day. I'd go home with bruises and holding tissue on my nose, but I'd still come back the next day.
Yeah.
And do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And then I was getting tougher, and I had it over then. But people would come and spar, and they'd say, "Oh, you guys spar too hard."
and that went on for years.
Yeah, but that's all I knew. That's all we were exposed to. I hadn't seen other gyms.
Yeah.
Because other gyms came and they're like, "You guys are too hard here. You guys are too crazy."
Yeah.
But I didn't know any different.
Do you know what's funny? I touched on what you said before. I remember Donnie actually said to me when you first, I think it was talking about you when you first started, and he goes, "Fuck, you should have seen Miles." He goes, "He's a fucking..." Oh, sorry, he's a skinny little bastard. He goes, "He was the most hopeless guy. He wasn't coordinated at all. I was never going to put him in the ring. Here he is now." And I was like, because at the time Miles could sort of fight, so I couldn't really picture what Donnie was saying
Yeah, interesting.
to what I'm seeing in the gym at current.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, well, what the hell, Miles? What?
Yeah. Wow.
Miles knock everyone out."
That's crazy. To put it and for viewers at home, I remember because I was always glove shy. I never sparred. Never really did that stuff. To really punch somebody was crazy.
Yeah.
But I was always a bit scared to get hit.
Mm.
And I remember always sparring with Luke Howlett, and I would just naturally spin around
Yeah.
for protection. And then Luke Howlett's like, dude, you spin around again, you're getting one in the back of the head. Like, so I had stuff like that.
I'm
But
laughing because like I know
Luke
yeah.
Howlett,
Yeah,
you
we
know?
know what it's like.
He was gifted. He was a gifted boxer who could have been the best.
Yeah.
Could have been. And he was someone that we looked up to.
Yeah.
You know, we looked up to him, and then he could have been the greatest. But just like many athletes in many sports, those that you see are amazing.
Yeah.
They don't take it further.
Yeah.
Life happens, you know. So he was one of those examples of that.
He took everything to the extreme. I remember one time I was doing ab work, and he had the medicine ball, and he was, as a little kid, I was probably like 14, 15, and he was smashed my guts with this medicine ball. And the next couple of days I was just pissing blood, or shitting blood, sorry. Shitting and pissing blood. And I'm just like, wow, like Luke's crazy.
Yeah, he was crazy.
Yeah.
He was crazy, but that's what made him great. But that gym, Caboolture Boxing, had hard nuts in there.
Yeah.
We grew up around that.
Each year was different people.
Different
And it
people,
was just
people
crazy.
came and went.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That's what I respect about boxing, and that's why I say we're boxing brothers, is because we've seen the people leave the sport.
Yeah.
I left the sport.
Mhm.
I moved to Thailand, and then I came back. I came back with you. You
Mhm.
know, so we'll go through all the history, but we've seen people come and go, and those that really hang around are the ones that really make it,
Mhm.
because the rest don't make it. It's a tough game, and only within this game, those who hang around, like myself, we don't break it into the top tier boxing that yourself has. You know,
Yeah.
so the fact that I hung around as long as I could showed I really believed I could get
100%.
there.
100%. It's funny because, like, you see people drop off after so many years, and sometimes that isn't due to boxing itself. It can be life events, and that's what people don't realize. Like, it's the at-home life, that things that happen in their world, they have to overcome that, and it can come to the boxing world. And I think it isn't just a loss that makes somebody give up boxing. It can be just general hardship outside the ring.
And that's what breeds champions too.
Yeah.
Is that hardship.
Yeah.
And
The
that's
people that come through.
and boxing is so hard that those that become champions, and the word that comes up to me is grit.
Mhm.
Like, can you handle it? Are you tough enough to really battle all the storms in the sport, inside and outside the ring?
Yeah.
You know? So lots of champions have battled many battles outside of the ring, and
Yeah.
that's some people like yourself. So we'll go through these photos. Next one. Was this the junior?
That was in Germany Germany in Brandenburg.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. So I was 17 then. 17.
Oh, okay. So I must.
I think that was the same year as the youth world titles.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Been everywhere. And you've travelled lots with Mark Wilson, and the same thing. Like, looking at these faces who made representative teams.
Satali,
Satali,
Kaylin. I think
he's actually coming back soon.
Is he?
He's
Oh, actually,
on fire, I
he's
think.
back now. Yeah. Kaylin Parker. She's at the Olympic Games right now. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't
There was
know.
another talent there.
He's very good.
So, just a photo just so people can see.
Yeah.
Was that in that same place? So
That
you're
was that
from-
was that one was in Serbia at
Yeah.
the Vojvodina Golden Gloves. I think it was about 21 then,
Wow.
or 20.
Totally
And
what a
I
name.
was 4 fights in 4 days, and I lost against Serbia in the finals, unfortunately. But
But you fought the world's best boxers.
yeah, I have. Yeah,
It's crazy.
I have. Yeah,
Oh, this made me laugh. So
that was at the Serbia. I got ripped off though. I know.
well, this is it. You're on the podium.
Look at my
So,
face.
good fight, you know.
Yeah,
and so I'm going through your stuff today.
Yeah.
today, and this made me laugh because I see the caption. This is 2014.
Yeah.
Didn't get the win yesterday, unfortunately. God knows how.
Okay, so you know why? This is the funny thing about it. It was a 4-day tournament. So I had four opponents, obviously. The first fight I fought was from Serbia. I beat him. So it's a knockout competition. Serbia's gone. Then all of a sudden, somehow, Serbia's in the final with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
same dude.
No, different guy.
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
there.
that's weird.
So obviously it was not corrupt, but like they wanted Serbia to win. I got rid of Serbia first, and some random guy comes in.
Okay, interesting.
So I was like, oh, here we go. I'm up against it.
Wow.
And I put an 8 count on him in the first round, and just
Still.
just teed off on him. And then somehow, I don't know how I lost, but I lost.
They gave it to him.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy, man.
crazy,
I remember
okay.
I think one of the referees that come over from Australia with us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of the guys from Serbia, like an official, just stood up and just sat him down by his shoulders, like sit down.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
like this is
and
happening.
yeah, sit. And so it was like and when you're from Australia, you go into a foreign place,
Yeah.
you just kind of will enough
You
accept
got to
it.
play the
'Cause-
rules
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
Crazy. Well, there you go. And that's why you don't look so happy there. You're
look
like,
at me.
what is this shit?
That's
Crazy.
an old photo, that one.
He's tall too.
Yeah,
I know he's high, but he looks tall. So when we were in Germany, that was a cool trip.
Yeah.
We went to Germany, so that was amazing because I finally got to travel with you. You know, you went on all these trips, and then finally when we went, so Joe Goodall there, yourself, me, another one there. So we've had all the photos. We've done all the time together, and this is where I know we're boxing brothers.
Yeah.
We've done the yards together. You know, Germany there. We're getting ready, back sheds, Donny Tyndall. You had a few fights. You
I
had 2 or
had-
3 there.
I think 2 or 3.
Yeah, okay.
I can remember 2, maybe 2. 2 maybe.
You've been all around the world, but would you rate that one of the best trips?
It was a good trip.
That was
it was a
cool,
good
eh?
trip because it was a boxing trip, but also, funny enough, it felt like a bonding trip as well.
Yeah.
So we're there for business, but we had time to socialize and we're roomed together as well. So we got to really know each other and
Yeah, that's cool.
experience what it was like to be on the other side of the world in another country.
Mm,
And for a lot of us, it was new for us. Some of us haven't been on a plane yet,
mm.
let alone another country. So to be over there fighting, but to be over there with your mates was a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, cool, man.
And it always is. Like I feel so fortunate when I'm away when I have been away fighting. I'm like, wow, like I'm in another continent of the world, and yeah,
What would you rate some of the best countries you've been to, experience-wise, with these boxing camps?
I think would have been probably Germany.
Okay,
Germany
yeah,
was nice,
Beautiful
clean,
country.
beautiful
Yeah,
country,
clean.
and I know there's history there as well. And you could kind of feel it and sense it at the same time when you're walking through the towns. The place over there are a lot older compared to Australia, and you can just kind of tell like there's been a lot of hard. Well, I knew Germany from the war. You just kind of feel the hardship that had been through that town or through the
And
city
when
at
we
the time.
went and visited those massive cathedrals,
Yeah.
you could feel the history.
Different.
And it makes Australia feel so young.
Yeah, it's a different feeling. Like we have nothing in comparison to what the
Europe.
world has, and Europe. Germany, Europe as well. So to see that all firsthand, it was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing it with you, and I was like, well, how did this even happen? Like how did humans even make this?
Yeah.
And
Centuries old,
crazy, man.
thousands of years old.
And we have nothing even remotely close to that in our country.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and Australia is beautiful, but
Yeah.
just goes to show the history in other parts of the world.
You've lived an interesting life. You've seen a lot of places, met a lot of people, and for you to still be so humble, and like you said, still a student of the game.
Yeah.
It's compared to what you've seen, who you've shared the ring with. You've shared the ring with amazing, world quality fighters. And then you're still coming back to the gym, still helping some of the kids out. It's crazy to see you hand that knowledge on, because that's what Australia lacks, is we don't have those top fighters. They come and go, but you're in that breed of fighters here that I feel have so much to give.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Thank you, man.
You're doing that.
Appreciate it.
Next photo. That's a cool one. Back in the so my first pro life, but I love that because I remember it was my pro debut, and back at the old Mansfield Tavern. It wasn't this fight. But pro debut, this is a memory that I have. And obviously, we were Caboolture amateurs.
Yeah.
And then I moved off to the old Dundee,
Yeah.
the old Korean friggin' martial artist, But, and then went to the other gym. And then when I turned pro, I was in the back shares. And then you came in, you're like, wow, it's happening, getting the old pro wraps on and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is it. This is what it is. This is what we train for. But the look in your face, you were so like, wow, amazing, this is happening.
Yeah.
So that was cool,
And I think that comes back to early days of Caboolture, like where we used to do the stairs at Donny's, the start of our session every single night. And we used to have big chats, in our own sort of lonesome of, 15, 20 minutes out there we'd just go over our goals and our aspirations in the sport that we love, boxing. you know, the world titles that we want, the fighters we'd like to fight, who we're watching, the fights on the weekend.
Yeah.
And that's where we had a big debrief before we started training.
Mm.
And
And that's what people don't know. And that's what I mean. That's the history that you and I have. Because you've stayed in my house. You crashed on the couch. We did the mountain runs together. We did all that dreaming of like, man, we want to do this. We want to do this. And that's what I mean by the early days where, because and we've got a funny relationship because when we spar, we give it to each other.
yeah,
We smash each other. Like people would think, are these guys alright?
Yeah.
Like these are guys got beef or something. But we were just so competitive in
Yeah.
a healthy way because we
Yeah.
pushed each other. But then on the other hand, we're still boxing brothers
Yeah.
and friends and sleep on each other's couch and pick me up and go to the gym together and we're just having a laugh to bashing each other
yeah.
and then going back to laughing. It's crazy.
It is a crazy sport, man. And you know, and like that's why, you know, obviously the relationship we have, but you know, that's always been my standpoint as well. Like if we spar, we can try and kill each other if we want to, but there has to be no hard feelings or bad blood when we get out.
It's always stayed in there.
Anything can happen in there, and trust me, there's been some horrific things that happen in that ring between me and Miles, and just stupid shit as well.
But it's just
Ego,
competitive.
competitiveness.
It's like no one's trying
Yeah.
to give up first. Cause
Exactly right. And like stupid shit happens in those times. And I guess that's just competitiveness and our will to win.
Yes.
But you know, I always knew that can't carry on outside the ring. You know, exactly straight after it.
Yeah.
As soon as you hop through those ropes, it's over.
And it really is the whole iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
It really is that,
Yeah.
you know. So we've had a life together. And that's what makes this episode so special because
Yeah.
this is that full circle. Dib, back to the history. I'm retired
Mm-hmm.
now, you know. So this is your end of your boxing career,
Yeah.
however long it goes for. So this is a
Yeah.
special episode where there's no competition, you know.
Yeah.
Another photo I brought up. You and
Billy.
Polkinghorn.
Yeah.
So you fought in the past because he's now at All Star Boxing.
Yeah.
You fought once,
So we fought 3 times.
3 times.
Three
yeah?
times. That was at the Coral Sea Games up in Cairns. That was our last fight, that one.
Okay, yep. Tough.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It was the second fight we had.
Okay.
The last fight we had was for the Australian titles down in Melbourne, I'm pretty sure,
Yep.
or Tasmania. I can't remember. Too many fights now.
2 minute fights, and
Um,
they've all been hard.
But yeah, no, it was a tough fight. Probably the hardest fight I've had in Australia.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, good
And
fighter.
it's good to see that you're now teammates.
Yeah, yeah,
Would you say it's been even better sparring?
yeah. I've only sparred him once or twice,
Okay.
but it's hard. He punches really fucking. Sorry, he punches really fucking hard. You know, I feel sorry for whoever he fights.
Yeah,
Like those
yeah.
lay downs gloves.
Yeah,
He's a big puncher, and yeah, he's technical.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
when I first fought him, he come over from England. I think he must have had about 80 fights underneath him. I could be wrong, Billy, so I apologize. But he's crafty.
Yep.
And that fight especially was really tough. I won, and I just edged it in. It was very close.
Yep.
And likewise for the next 2, they were probably the toughest fights I've had in my career as an amateur. That is. You know, so yeah, it's pretty surreal to see him in our gym now after so many years, and we're working alongside each other, working on our pro game.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good.
And so, because it's interesting because when I finished up,
Yeah.
and then it was like Billy came on board because we were tough sparring in the gym.
Yeah.
And the best thing with you and I is like we didn't need to go out, drive somewhere to another gym to have
Yeah.
some tough sparring. So we had some tough rounds. And then when I finished up, it's like Billy's taken over.
Mhm.
Different style, a bit heavier
Yeah.
as well. And I feel that that could carry you over in the same gym
Yeah,
without
yeah.
you having to go somewhere.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's a big asset that we have in this gym. Not just Billy, but you know Vegas as well. We have people around our weight division, lightweight, super featherweight, super
Yeah,
bantam.
yeah.
But we're able to work with each other day in and day out. The sparring sessions, we don't necessarily have to travel afar for it. You know, obviously in boxing we want to because there's no point for sparring the same person each time. But you know, I think we're very fortunate. We have a very busy gym now, amateurs, professionals, and yeah, we're very
Now,
fortunate.
You've seen the growth of All Star because you were, let's say, I don't know, the first pro
Yeah.
under the All Star banner. And then I jumped over from when I came back from Thailand, and then you and I were the both pros, and then Vegas jumped up. So you've seen the growth of All Star over the years firsthand. Where would you see, like, is this surprising? Like, do you see is it like, is there more to go?
Yeah, I think there's plenty more to go.
Yeah.
I think we've only seen a fraction of it. And, like, I know where we started. We were boxing out in basketball courts.
Man.
Our ring was the basketball, the ropes in the courts and that. And, I think we're still a fraction. People have only seen a fraction where this gym is going to go, because we're going to outgrow this place sooner or later. It's so busy already. We've got pros in there now that are very good. I've had a big career myself. I can only imagine how these little kids that are coming up, what they're going to do, who sticks around. And the current pros that we have, Vegas, Billy, Ben Hussein, Tuisi, and Hayden Emerson. So it's exciting times.
And the amateurs are guns that are coming through.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, when I watch them, I think, far out. Like,
Different to when we were amateur.
Way different. I watch them and I think, at their age, they're much better than what we were, or I was.
I see it, yeah.
So I can only imagine if they stick to it. And that's the thing. Like, if they stick to it, how good will these kids be? But it's a waiting game.
Yeah.
That's the thing with boxing. It is a waiting game. And, I hope for those kids that they hold it out, because life itself is pretty damn boring. And if you can find your passion and you love fighting and beating people up, stick to it. Because me as a young kid, even these photos here I'm looking at, it's kind of hard to imagine, even myself looking at them, well, like, how did I get to where I am now? Like, 4 for 2 world titles, travel the world. And, I hope these kids really do experience that, but they have to stick to it. They have to stay at it. All the hardships through life, they're going to come, and they just have to overcome that.
Nice. That was nice, Liam. And because you have lived it, you can pass it on as a lesson for these kids. That was cool. Really nice. Next photo. You and Harry Gasa sitting next to each other. Where was this?
That was down in Canberra at the AIS. I spent quite a bit of time down there as an amateur through the amateur world championships, junior, youth, the Commonwealth Games, and just general training camps for the senior teams. When they were preparing for big fights overseas, they'd often send us down there to help spar them. And
You guys fought?
We fought. We fought once, and tough fight.
Yeah.
Like, I've sparred him since then, and he'd be a nightmare. He moves so much. He boxes. He's a really good boxer.
Yep.
In and out. And
that is the sport. So at the moment the Olympics are on. So Harry Gasa lost his first fight.
Yeah.
I haven't actually watched it, but the journey of Olympics is so hard to get there, and then you're fighting the world's best athletes in all sports. So I've been watching the Olympics, and I enjoy it as an athlete. So he lost his first fight. He feels hard done by all of that. So all the credit goes to athletes at that stage to go to that level. But he reminds me, because what I've been enjoying is the fencing.
Yeah.
You know how they really start on it. And
I actually watched a bit
he's
today.
like that.
Yeah, he is.
And he's a boxer. So amateur is kind of like fencing.
Yeah.
Because we've got to respect the sport, like, as in just box.
Yeah.
Jab, point.
It's funny. Now you said that, like, in his last performance, he literally did look like that.
Okay.
And he's a nightmare to fight, nightmare to spar, because he moves so much. He's on his toes, and I think he knows that as well. He's picking his shots. He's using his movement, southpaw as well, so that doesn't usually fit well us orthodox.
Yeah.
But he's a good mover. Like, good feet, good stamina. He's fit as hell. So,
super fit.
and unlucky to him. It's his second run at the Olympic Games, and all credit to him as well. He won a medal in the last one. He fell short here, unfortunately, but life goes on.
He's a bronze medalist.
Bronze medalist. He's still young.
Yep.
He could come back quite comfortably and turn pro. Not turn pro, but go back to the pro game, and see where the success takes him there.
Of course, and he's a brand. He's done well for himself. His name is Gasa, So another memory that I have is when Gasa and I were supposed to fight, and I know it didn't happen because, look, he was two pro fights in.
It's crazy,
Two pro fights in, but it was such a good build up, and I really appreciate that. But I remember, I've got a memory. So the ring, they had it in King George Square, Brisbane City. So people everywhere. It's massive. No Limit do all these shows, and me and Gasa in the ring, and we're doing this thing because
What's
we're
that?
promoting
Yeah.
the fight.
I,
Crazy,
forgot,
right?
I completely forgot about it.
It was a big build up.
Yeah.
But my memory that I have, and this is crazy, amongst all the people, and there could have been a couple hundred there, all boxers, different gyms. People are talking still, while me and Gus are in the ring. But I remember seeing you. I remember looking at you amongst all these faces, and you're just dialed in. You're looking. It was almost like you're tapping into me and my energies because you knew. I remember a quote you always say to me, a personal quote, is like, they don't know. People still don't know what you see in the gym
Mm-hmm.
all those years at Caboolture, So
Yeah.
your look at Brisbane Times Square, when you're looking at me, was like, man, these guys
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. Like, this is, you knew that was my time.
Yeah. And again, because I've shared the ring with him, just like you when you fought Dib.
Yeah.
So it's a different feeling with it's just a different feeling towards it. Like it's something to get back, but you feel like you're
Yeah.
emotionally involved in it in some weird way or another.
But I could tell your emotion involved with me and Gasa because you knew that was my moment to get some notoriety and stuff,
Yeah.
know?
Well, I just simply thought I knew what you've done in the past. I've sparred you plenty of times. I've seen your fights. I've seen you knock out so many people over all those years of boxing, and I knew Australia at the time were considering Harry as the next up and comer, big prospect, and the one to watch out for. But I truly felt with your fight with him, it was going to pull a hole to the party. And I was excited for that. Whether it happened or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I knew you and I knew him
Yeah.
because I fought him obviously, and I was interested
it
in
was
the
fun that
fight.
everyone was so
I was just interested in it.
Yep, I think a lot of people
Yeah.
were because they were like, oh.
Yeah.
It was like, it was one of those fights that how's it going to play out?
Yeah.
Like, you
And-
can say,
Sorry, I think if people that know you from the amateur days, especially, they would knew that was a hard fight for Harry.
yeah.
And I'm sure Harry watched your fights since then and seen your power and that, and he thought he would have been thinking, oh well, that fight would have been hard.
Half fight, of
It would've
course. Next one. Okay, so the relationship between you and Benny. So this is a nice photo that I saw. This is obviously you transitioning to All Star.
Yeah.
And this is you going under the guise of another trainer. You had so much respect for our old coach, Donnie Tyndall, and now you've got a new trainer,
Yep.
Benny Harrington. Was that from your experience, even at that age, were you new to you had a different teacher, a different voice?
Yeah, it was a big move for me. And as a young kid, and I'm a pretty shy person as it is, I'm not very vocal. But you know the effect that Donnie had on our life was sort of like a father figure, and to I wouldn't say break that relationship, but I had to step away from it to pursue the career that I wanted, which was boxing, and I wanted to better myself. I felt like I truly had to go elsewhere. And me and Benny got talking. I felt and seen his passion, and I truly just felt it. As a young kid, he was a new trainer, and I had people in my ear trying to scoop me up, trying to get me to train for them, and
But you went with
I knew Benny was a new trainer at the time as well. I was a smart dude at that time, and I had to think very carefully of what the next decision I was going to make in my career.
Yeah.
But I could feel the passion and the motive behind Benny,
Yeah, nice.
and I knew it was going to work well for my career.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can agree as well, and every other boxer in the gym, that they'd be able to agree with that. Benny's very passionate, and even at that time, people would see Benny now as who he is. But my career with Benny started many years ago.
Yeah.
Benny was my age.
Yeah.
So,
Now, yeah, true.
pretty crazy, right?
Yep. Interesting.
And that's pretty crazy actually when I think about it. But yeah, so my age, and I
took you under his wing. Pretty much.
he pretty much did, and I just felt, I believe I'm good at face
Judging
value,
character, yeah.
judge character. I could be in a room full of 30 people, and I could pick out the fuckwit in the room.
Yep.
But sorry for the language.
Who cares?
Sorry guys. But I could feel with Benny
Yeah.
that
he was a good one.
he wasn't trying to poach me or anything. He wasn't trying to do nothing like that. I need help, and he was willing to give it to me. And I think that's what it was. I needed the help, and he could feel that, or he sensed it. I don't know, but he was willing to give it to me,
Nice.
and here I am, so many years later,
Wow.
in this
Yeah, it's
gym, and
cool.
we're, you know, like it's weird. Like I'm 28 now. I've had a very big campaign as a professional and amateur with Benny, and I still I still feel like there is so much to go, even though I could be on the back end of it. Not back end. I'm talking three or so years. If
And
all
you're being
goes,
sensible about this.
yeah, I'm trying to be logical about it and realistic about it all. You know, if all goes smoothly, I probably have 2-3 years left,
Wow.
but I feel like they're gonna be 2 or 3 big years,
Wow. Yep.
and that's what I want. That's what I've always wanted for my career: is take the hard fights, the big opportunities, and you know that's how I know Benny has my best interest at heart, because he has said yes to fights where even now I'm like, fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But he believed in me,
Believed in you.
and he believed in what we could do.
Wow.
So-
And that vision goes way back.
Way back, a long time ago.
And it's amazing, like when you were on Top Rank, I was like, wow, Liam's done it. Like
Yeah.
those mountain runs we did, those sleepovers, all
Yeah.
those trips together. And
We would talk about it. Yeah.
that's what we wanted. And you reached that.
Yeah.
You reached those Top Rank moments. So I want to skip to it because we're on par right now.
Yeah.
So this is because I'm your boxing brother, and I'm just watching everything you're doing. You're over in the States, and you're fighting Oscar Valdez. But this was the press, and so I'm tuning in, of course. But you say this, and just like you looked at me when I was in the ring with Gasa, you had that look of like, man, you've got this. I too am watching and feeling you like this is your moment. Like we dreamed of these moments, Top Rank, and you're here. And I listened to this, so I had to put it up. But listen to this.
Your camp has almost been like a world tour. You know, Australia, Thailand, Vegas, and now Arizona. How's camp been, and has that travel affected it at all, or do you think you use that to your advantage?
No, camp's been 100%. I'm well prepared for this fight. I'll put in time in a few different locations to acclimatise and get my body ready for this big fight coming up on Friday night. I'm in for a war. I know I am. I knew this 3 months ago, so I put in a good hard camp, and thank you for all my sponsors for helping me out to get this all possible. I'm ready for this. You know, as a young kid, I dreamed of being in these fights. I looked up to all the Mexican greats, and in some sense, I'm fighting the modern day version of them, Navarrete, Valdez, and I feel so proud and privileged to be up here and a few days out from fighting one of the best. I'm excited, man.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. So you said when I was a kid, I used to watch all the greats, Morales, like all of them. And you, back in the Cabuchi days, you came to the gym and you'd watch them.
I'd watch them and try and
You
fight
love
them.
Marquez.
I'd try and fight like them, spar like them for months on end. And yeah, crazy. Like a crazy time. It wasn't long ago, but like it feels crazy to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there thinking like, wow, okay, this is the modern day version of the guys I used to watch. Morales, Marquez, Barrera. And you know what? That was my fight to win. I truly believed it going into it. I prepared very well. I was going to beat Valdez that night, and I started off very well, and that was going to happen. And you know, like I've suffered a few losses now, and it's all come down to one thing. And that's me just not concentrating, not sticking to the game plan, and I came undone that fight because of that. So, you know, at my career now, at my stage of my career now, I have to really implement what I do in training in the fight, and do everything to 100%.
And look, and this is right now, the person speaking is that student, the one that's learned the lessons, and you're focused on the next step. But again, I'm here to remind you that, dude, you did it. You did this Top Rank. You and Benny having those dreams in the tennis courts to now you watching one of those Mexican greats, watching the Morales, Marquez, you frothing over them, to now you speaking on stage like, you know, I used to watch the guys. Now I'm fighting the modern day greats. So don't be embarrassed or yes, a loss, but dude, like you made that happen. It was a tough fucking fight. So I'm watching the fight like, dude, like this is it. I
Yeah.
can't believe it. Like you're in the ring. You see all of those greats around you. Even I saw Morales in the background.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
Like
I was
dude,
fangirling.
that was you. You made that happen. You manifested that. You dreamt about it. came to life?
It was crazy, man. Like, you know, to be a part of 2 world title fights against 2, one potential Hall of Famers is pretty surreal.
They're the world's best.
Yeah, I never did think as a young kid I'd be in those sort of fights. I always dreamt of them, but whether it happened or not was another thing. And, you know, fast forward so many years, 27, 28 years old, I've been in 2 big fights like that. And one I probably should have won, but it is what it is. It's character building. And, you know, like, I've still got, you know, weirdly enough, plenty more to go.
Nice. I love that, Liam. And look, be proud of these moments. Australia versus Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, you'll probably look Australia versus Mexico. Like, you watched these guys when you were young, and you made this happen. So we'll end it on this note that you've done amazing for yourself, your career. So,
and you know what's crazy? Sorry, Skin. I never went there to make up numbers or anything. You know, as an inexperienced that I was, you know, 13 fights or 14 fights with Navarrete, 16 with Valdez. I went there to be world champion. I went there to beat these guys, and, you know, like yourself, Miles, you're a big puncher, and I truly felt like I was going to go there and knock these guys out. And, you know, let's hope there's a rematch. You know, if it does happen, you know, I'd go with the same mindset. I'm there to win, and, you know, it's a shame I didn't come away with the world title.
Were you the first ever to put Navarrete down?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you were.
Well, from what they've been saying.
They're like, Navarrete's never touched the canvas. You did that.
You know, it's funny. We're in the locker rooms before the fight, and the referee came in, and he was just repeating himself, basically saying, look, if you get knocked down, you have to go to the corner. And he said it about 3 times, implying it was going to be like me. I was going to go down, so he's just give me a heads up. You know, Liam, when you go down.
Oh, man.
And I was like, fuck. Like, you know, more incentive for me to put some heat on these punches and put him down. And I was so confident going into that fight. I really was. You know, I had a few hiccups in camp, but nothing derailed my dreams to being world champion. You know, again, like, it all comes down to concentration and the little mishaps I'm still trying to fix, or else I probably would be world champion right now. And that sucks to know and feel. But hey, I'm here.
This is your journey. Like, after the hard fights, the life that you've had, the history, all those amateur fights, all those being ripped off against that dude in Serbia, you know, all of that stuff. Like, all of these life lessons, it led you to where you're at now, and you're still learning. We still have to, put the ego aside. Still have to, like, you know, wake up, brush your teeth, boom, come back to the gym.
And you have to, Hey. Like, it's a shit sport to go through when you feel those downs. You know, you get knocked out in front of the whole world, or in front of the whole of Australia, in front of your friends, family, your supporters, and you unfortunately have to come back. You know, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're gutless, or whatever it might be. So, you know, and we've done it before. We've come back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot of fighters out there that would have that same sort of ambition, but there's a lot of people that could never do that in their wildest dreams, could never come back.
But we're fucking mad. We've had a mad journey, bro. So much love, okay? It's been cool, and it's not over yet. It's not over.
No, definitely not.
So,
Wait, I've got a few hard years in me left.
Let's go, bro. Let's go.